Hey, look at the camera. He doesn't want to be on camera today. Hey kiddos, it's JiggyKiddo and Mota. This is episode 19. I want to talk about the time that one of my teachers, for real, almost punched me in the face. I'm so serious. I'm really so for real about that. One of my teachers lost his fucking cool. He severely wants to take a nap, does not want to be on camera, so I'll be right back. I'm back. Ugh. I feel like I need a moral support something right now because Mota does not want to be in this. I'm gonna hold Freddie Mercury. So I almost got punched in the face by one of my teachers. This was in, I think it was 10th or 11th grade. Mind you, I've taken a whole bunch of art classes and I've had dozens of art teachers, but this one specifically was so, just should not have been a teacher, to be honest. I'm not sorry to say that. I should have known from the start that this guy was gonna have issues with me because when we had open house, like when you go and you meet all your teachers and you see where all of your classrooms are before school starts, my mom was like, I don't like that guy, because she had worked with him before and they didn't get along. I could just tell that he obviously knew who my mom was, so there was probably problems from that, just from the start. But mind you, this was over 10 years ago, so I don't remember everything super clearly, but I remember enough to remember this traumatic experience that happened. But the beginning of the year for that class, everything was fine, everything was cool. I even got like an award in that class for something that I drew. He was the type of teacher that wanted us to be silent when we worked, which I get that. I can respect that to a certain degree, you know, but like, we're not in a library. I was also one of those kids growing up that like, when we had parent-teacher conferences, the one thing that they would say was that I talked too much. Sorry, I don't know. I just talk too much sometimes, I get it. But I respected his wishes of like not being super loud or super like distracting to the other people around me. But there came a time where I would like get my work done. I would just be done. It was art class. I loved art class. I got my shit done. You know, it was something I enjoyed and I was motivated to. So like I would be done with my work. And then he would just expect me to sit there. Wouldn't give me anything else to work on. I did have friends in this class and we would giggle at stuff sometimes. Like, you can't sit me next to my friends and expect us not to like want to chit chat or literally even just like giggle. And yes, I was a teenager, but like we're still in school. Anyone who is still in high school or younger, you're a child. I had to have been 16, 17 in this. I don't even remember his name, honestly, and I don't have any plans on like trying to get people to dislike this person because I don't know where he's at in the world and it doesn't really matter. This is just my story about it. But it was his first year teaching at this school also, and he was just, I want to say, a little inappropriate with like how he did or just was in class. Like, we're here to learn, not to like listen to you talk about your relationship and post pictures of this person like on the big projection screen that everyone could see. Like this, I can't. Honestly, there's no point in getting into why the fuck he was a weird teacher beyond the point that he literally almost punched me in the face. But so leading up to that day, he just started having issues with me for sure because like I did not want to sit there and twiddle my thumbs and do nothing when I got my work done. So I would start talking to my friends. Mind you, again, I'm not being super fucking loud. I'm trying my best not to be a distraction, but also I'm bored. I had good grades in that class too, so it's not like I was really, you know, I can't. I don't know how to tell this story without it just sounding like I'm complaining because, again, I loved the art itself. I loved drawing. I loved what we were doing and stuff, but then I would get done and have nothing to do. Kendra, get to the point. I'm like nervous to get to the point of when and why this happened, but he had already had problems with me by this point, was constantly telling me to be quiet, and I just constantly was not being quiet. I don't remember word for word what the both of us were saying to each other. I'm just going to try to reiterate the things I do remember that were said or the things that I do remember that were done. But Freddie Mercury, please give me some support. He just was like starting to make really snarky comments to me, and I was definitely pretty nasty with my mouth sometimes, so like I would say things back to him. Like, just because you're an adult does not always mean that you're right or you're correct or you're doing the things the right way. So I would kind of call him out on his bullshit, and he really did not like that. So I eventually just stopped like listening to him. You're giving me my work, I'm getting my work done, you're still giving me an A, but you don't like me as a person. That's clear. That's a given. I understand that now. And I just didn't give a fuck, to be honest, because you have no reason to be mad at me for giggling, for laughing, for being a child. He was upset about that. Anyways, so this day specifically, he was making snarky comments. I was making them right back to him. And he came up to me, got as close as he could to my face, was screaming in my ears so close to me that I could feel the spit hitting my face, and he like went like this, you know, like pulled his fist back like he was gonna hit me. So no, he didn't hit me. Obviously the man would have been arrested that day, but it escalated as he's screaming at me. I'm just like not saying anything. I'm not even looking at him. I'm just like letting this grown man scream in my face and act like he's gonna hit me. Didn't even flinch, bitch. Anyway, so then I just get up out of my chair to like leave the classroom and go tell on his ass. He locked the door to the classroom, would not let me out of the classroom. I'm literally like, let me out of this classroom. So then instead he like has me locked in there with all these other kids in there with us, obviously. And he calls the intercom thingy and he was like, can someone come get this emotional child out of my classroom? I was like, are you kidding? I'm literally trying to leave. So then like the officers of the school came down to come get me, and I told them everything that had happened and that like he didn't like that I just wasn't being quiet. And they're all like, yeah, we know this guy's kind of weird. He should not. What is going on out there? Hello? I'm home alone. That was kind of scary. I do have dogs, but anyways, so I go to the principal's office. Ooh, before I left the classroom too, there were a whole bunch of kids in there that like, the school that I went to was very cliquey, is all I'm gonna say. And there were some kids in that class that were just like not the nicest, or, you know, I'm not gonna say anything further about that. But while this man has me locked in the classroom, I went straight to this one table of kids and I was like, you guys think this is funny? Because I could like hear them snickering and giggling at everything. And I was like, you guys think this is funny? I don't remember what else I said, but I remember saying that. But so then the officer of the school comes to get me, hears my side of the story, attempts to listen to his side of the story. But honestly, I think at that point, knowing that I told them that this man, like, I guess wanted to hit me or something, they just like did not want to hear what this man had to say, because regardless of what I'm doing as a child in the classroom, like I didn't fight anyone, didn't put my hands on anyone. I'm sure that I said some not nice things to this man, but like at that point I was fed up. I just could not stand him as a teacher. I've had so many teachers that I like highly respect, and he was not one of them. Sorry. I didn't get in trouble or anything. They were like, do you want to go back to this class for the rest of the term? Or like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I still really like art. Like I want to draw, but I don't want to be near him. So they gave me the option of just picking wherever I wanted to do my work. I asked if I could just sit in on this other teacher's class, which was the father of one of the cross-country coaches that I had. Him and I were tight. Why do I always do this? I just asked if I could sit in on this other teacher's class and do my work in his class. He said it was okay. And I honestly only did this for about a week, because then eventually I went back to the art class. I was like, it's kind of hard to like do this artwork while I'm not in the class with the teacher who's supposed to be teaching it. So I eventually did go back to the class, but for the rest of that term, that teacher did not speak to me, wouldn't even look at me. And not that he gave me A's because he had to, but because I'm a good artist. Honestly, I would have been more shocked if he would have given me less of a grade than what I deserved because of that whole situation. So whatever, I still got an A. This teacher did not like me, was obviously super aware that he was probably gonna get in trouble and things, because you don't threaten children like that. that's the moral of the story. It's not like way more exciting than I may have made it sound, because nobody got punched, nobody got hurt. But I did spend the rest of the year, or the rest of that term, in that classroom getting my work done. Everything was fine. I still giggled with my friends. And guess who didn't tell me to be quiet after that? Nobody. And I'm pretty sure that man got fired. Or he just didn't come back the next year. I do believe that there were multiple complaints against him as a teacher from other teachers as well. The principal didn't even like him. Oh my gosh, that was honestly such a crazy experience, and I do still remember it to this day. And you know, everyone deserves to be happy and doing something that they're good at and that they're supposed to be doing, but that man should not be in a room full of kids. Sorry. You did what you did. Like I said, I was a kid that kind of had a smart mouth, but in a way of like I was going to just stand up for myself if I thought that you were in the wrong. And adults don't like that when it's coming from kids. So yeah, my art teacher almost, or wanted to, punch me in the face, but didn't. I feel like when he was yelling at me, he was just calling me like really mean names, and he was mad. I wish that kids understood that adults are not always right and kids should listen to their gut, and if they are being treated away by their teacher or a mentor or a parent or anyone that is older than you, respect your elders. I get that, but not when you are being mean to me for no reason. I just wanted to giggle with my friends. And like trying to be quiet when we're giggling too. Like I'm trying so hard to respect what he wants us to do, but like, sir, we're not in a library. You can't tell me to shut up. I do remember that. He would always tell us to shut up. You don't say that to kids. You just really don't. So I hope that that man learned his lesson. And I really do appreciate all of the teachers that believed me and that just respected that that should not have happened, and they gave me the choice to decide what I wanted to do moving forward, and I still got an A. That's my story time for today. I don't really have anything else to say, but yeah, it's summertime. Thanks for listening. See you later. Alligator. Oh, I just watched this show recently, The Burrows. There's this thing that a father and daughter say to each other. The dad's like, bye-bye, butterfly, and the daughter's like, see you soon, raccoon. I'm gonna use that. I'm stealing that, and I'm using that for somebody. All right. See you soon, raccoon.